Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Books Nelson with the At Me Bro Show, and we're going to be doing a deep dive on OG Anonuby that I definitely spelled wrong in this title, which will be fixed very shortly. So, OG looks like a budget version of Rudy Gay or Paul George. He's 6'8", he plays a small forward, power forward position. He doesn't have the rebounding stats to really play power forward, unless you're just straight up going small, but he should be locked in perfectly at the small forward. So we're going to take a look at his character model and his animations and see if he can hang with those two guys. I think both PG-13 and Rudy Gay are absolutely excellent cards, and the only way you can possibly do better than those cards is to pick Kevin Durant. And there are some people who even prefer those cards over Kevin Durant, and I think those cards are good enough that if they fit your personal preference, you're not crazy for saying so. Although offensively, Durant is generally the superior card. That's our conversation for small forward. So does OG Anonuby get into that conversation the same way Lance Stephenson is a part of the shooting guard conversation? You can run Lance Stephenson on a God squad and still perform really, really well. He stands next to any pink diamond. Literally any pink diamond Lance Stephenson can play next to and give you good production. So we're going to find out if OG has those things. So as you saw me scrolling through the stats, they all look pretty amazing. He's not the mid-range specialist that Rudy Gay is. Rudy Gay is an amazing mid-range card, which gives you a lot of options. But OG is a very good dunker. He doesn't have contact dunks, which is worth noting. But he has an excellent three ball at 93. And as we go to his badges, we're going to see that he has phenomenal defensive badges. In fact, let's go ahead and take him into freestyle, see what he's bringing to the table. I see y'all filing into the chat. I want to say welcome to the At Me Bro crew. Much appreciated seeing y'all up in here. I'm pretty excited about this card, even though, I mean, aren't we all just super stocked up on small forwards at this point? We got Crash, who's an amazing card, Gerald Wallace. Obviously, if you go more pricey, you've got Paul George and Rudy Gay. And there's also Paul Pierce out there. A lot of people are going to like that Paul Pierce card for good reason. He doesn't fit my style the best, but I do think he's pretty amazing. So let's see, where's Anonuby? There we go. There we go. Alright, so let's look at his badges. I like this badge screen better because we can highlight each one. So he has gold quick first step. Already that's a big compromise. I shouldn't say big compromise, but it's a worth notice compromise, that versus Hall of Fame quick first step that you see out of Rudy Gay, and I believe Paul George also has Hall of Fame quick first step. But here we go. Here's where he's really impressive. Hall of Fame clamps, Hall of Fame Intimidator. So I'm going to say, no matter how much I dislike this card's animations, if I dislike him, I haven't even seen him yet, he's definitely playable. Because if you have a gold range extender, which he does, and if you have Hall of Fame Intimidator, Hall of Fame Clamps, and Hall of Fame Interceptor, at worst, he's a good role-playing card. I do think he can play on a God Squad because he's not suffering in any particular area. And he even has post-move lockdown, which is huge, and that chase down artist, which is also really, really big. He has a 90 speed, so for him, this downhill will push him to a 99 speed in transition, which is great for him, not being fully maxed out in speed the way some of these other cards are, although he is still pretty fast. I think in this part of the meta, 90 is kind of where you want to cut it off for speed. You don't want to go below 90 speed for most positions, excluding center and some power forwards if they're bringing other stuff to the table. So look at the shooting badges. He has Hall of Fame catch and shoot, clutch, corner, difficult shots, which will help him out in the mid-range if you have to take that shot, but that's still not going to be a shot you're seeking out most likely, unless he just has a gigantic green window on his leaners, which we will be checking out. He has Green Machine, Hot Zone Hunter, Quick Draw, and Range Extender all on gold. Outstanding. So finishing badges. Here's another area where he's not super strong. He doesn't have Slithery Finisher, which will be a factor. Finishing badges are probably the least important badges out of all three categories, because if you're open, if you're open and you have a dunk rating, you're gonna dunk. So if a card is gonna struggle in an area when it comes to badges, this is where I want them to struggle. That having been said, he does have he has solid finishing badges, but really, gold Slithery Finisher would have made him elite. So right off the bat, I'm going to say from a badge and rating standpoint, he's a close but no cigar when compared to Rudy Gay and Paul George. Now, here's something I'm going to say right away. He's listed as 6'8". Oh my god, I don't think I have Rudy Gay on this squad. I might have to get him for the sake of this comparison. Yeah, we're going to do that, guys. We're going to do that. We're going to be thorough because I want you guys to look at this player model comparison. Rudy Gay and Paul George are gigantic. Jimmy Butler is actually a pretty big character model, too. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Jimmy Butler and Rudy Gay on this team, and we're going to look at the size of these character models because I think Rudy Gay is mislisted. And because his card says 6'8", everybody's thinking of him as a 6'8", when really I believe Rudy Gay is more likely to be 6'10". So we're going to go ahead and throw Jimmy and Rudy on the squad real quick, and then we're going to hop back in and take a look so we can look at the because and this is another reason we do the deep dives, guys, because listen, we're playing the game, so we all obviously have some affection for 2K, but let's not pretend 2K doesn't make mistakes, right? Landry Fields still has Evan Fournier's face, so if you're just going to blindly believe that a card is the height that's listed, this channel is here to help you out with those issues, you know. So we see Jimmy Butler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a jumper from the corner because they all go straight up and down, and I'm going to pause it, and we're going to substitute the character directly. So that's Jimmy, and here's Rudy. So you see here, you see Jimmy's size. Let's see if he changes. Oh wait, I did not do the substitution. We're going to do that again while they're standing straight up. So you see Rudy Gay has tremendously long arms, like ridiculously long arms. And it's just a really, really big character model. I would say at worst he's 6'9". Look at the size of that character. Alright, and now we're going to look at Jimmy. Jimmy's a big 6'8", but he's a little smaller than Rudy. And we're going to look at Anonuby. It's hard to tell. I feel like Anonuby's a little smaller than those guys, though. Alright, so that's my basic adjustment. Look at the hot zones. Again, not the same hot zones as those cards, but he has most of them around a three-point line, which is most important. His shot release is a little on the slow side, to be honest with you. This is a card, it's not too slow, but it's a little slower than the elite cards, for sure. A little bit of a wind-up. Trying to find the green window for you guys, just so we can see how big it is once we do find it. And you guys have seen my videos. You know, it usually doesn't take too long to find a green window. But I'm not warmed up, so it could be me. I do find it a little weird that we've gotten a couple of full whites and no greens yet. I don't love that. That's a terrible shot. So that's another full white from him. That's not quite a full white. There we go. There's a green. There we go. Okay, I see his green window. It's not a bad green window. Like I said, I will always lean towards human error until I take a lot of shots. And I normally don't like to spend a whole lot of time on the shooting portion of this video, but some cards do have smaller green windows, and you'll get full white after full white, and if they do have that, it's worth mentioning. But you see here, now that we found the green window, we're good to go. So I would say his shot is good, not excellent. And he just feels a little... Oh, wow, he really didn't want to cancel into his jumper either. Yeah, he doesn't... Alright, what's your hezzy looking like, bro? So we're going to go straight to his hezzy and see what he's working with. Oh, he's got a terrible hesitation. Alright, so he is not on the level of those cards. And he's not a Lance Stevenson version of those cards. Like, I know some people are going to call me crazy for this, but I think if you're a really great player and you have Lance and the other person has like a Brandon Roy, you can match a lot of their production because Lance has Hall of Fame, I believe he has Hall of Fame range extender and a really good shot and like really great dribble animations. Like Lance can cook. You know, Lance is not that big of a compromise. I think there was somebody was saying, a pro player that they were talking to was saying they just traded out T-Mac for Lance. Now I think that might be a little extreme, but if somebody had Lance in their lineup, you shouldn't fear Lance. You shouldn't fear Lance less than you fear, you know, Brandon Roy or somebody else. I think Dwayne Wade, because of his unique speed of his jumper, is the only one that really is like, okay, he's different for this reason. The rest of them is like, look, if you're taking a bunch of jumpers and you're dunking all the time, those cards can kind of all be in the same group with minor differences. Whereas Anonuby is, because of his lack of hesitation, Like, he has a terrible hesitation. Like, that's unusable. It's totally unusable. It doesn't even cancel into his shot. So he has no around the three-point line perimeter game compared to Jimmy and those guys. So let's see what his dribbles look like, since that's not his game. And he also has a bad step back. I'm going to be selling this card back immediately. This guy is fool's gold. I don't think his stats tell the truth. So I'm glad we got to do a deep dive, because that's a horrible hesitation. What is he doing? What is he doing? Is he doing the nay-nay? What is happening right now? That's such a bad. That's so bad. And it doesn't even... So okay, when we talk about the step back, for people who might be new to this channel, the step back has a lot of uses. Generally, you want to use it in dribble combos or coming out of a, a size up or something like that. And a step back will either be really good for two major reasons. Either one, you'll be in a dribble situation and you'll step back and be able to launch out of it, and it'll be strong in that area because of the speed and the separation you get out of the step back, or the step back will combo very well from other shots. So for instance, I have a Nate Robinson video coming for you guys soon, and Nate's step back is very good for the double hop back, right? Like if Nate, in fact, I can probably show you guys, because we're going to turn this into, since this card, in my view, kind of sucks, we're going to go ahead and turn this into more of a just general breakdown. So Nate does not have a lot of good dribble moves, but you can make your money off of this right here. You see how he just double hops all the way back behind the line? He just smoothly hops all the way back. It's almost like it's one move, right? The snatch back into the step back. And with a card this fast, if people play that, and they have to play that because of his range extender. So I'm doing that off the three-point line, but I can do that in a fast break from right here. And with his he gets Hall of Fame range extender. So that's a good shot for him. So if you do that from there and you rock that mix-up, you can devise a whole Nate Robinson game plan off of doing that, right? And so that's why you don't need a billion strong moves to be good. Rudy Gay has the other step back. He has the same step back as Jimmy, where he's got this kind of dribble step back, where in the middle of a dribble game, you can always just keep kind of spamming the step back to create space and create opportunities for yourself, which is very versatile. You can use it off tapping the left trigger and go right into it. You can use it off dribbles and go right into it. And because he has the killer crossover and he can whoopty very well, he's got a lot of stuff that he can do off of that, in addition to the fact that you're always afraid that the 6'8 character, or 6'9, 6'10 character is going to just start shooting over you. Anonuby's step back is totally unusable, in my view. That's a step back that no one would ever equip in Park and Rec and all of that stuff. And for my money, without a hesitation and without a step back, I don't think the other dribble moves are important enough to warrant it. And it looks like he has a killer crossover, which is great. And he has a really good momentum behind the back. So maybe this card will be salvageable. But that having been said, I think he's not a bad card. But I don't think he's... And see, you can feel the gold quick first step versus the Hall of Fame quick first step. When you do this with Rudy and Jimmy, they really explode out of that. He's not exploding as fast. I'll show you guys for a back-to-back comparison, so you guys will know what you're doing with your MT. I do think, honestly, between the three of these, if you're looking for a budget situation, definitely Jimmy Butler is still amazing. So let me try and get a killer cross for you guys. Yeah, so Jimmy, you see he just immediately launches right out of it, right? So not only does Jimmy have a superior killer crossover, and he has a whole bunch of other dribble moves that can launch out of it, but if he goes into that killer crossover, he can also step back with his superior step back. So even though OG does have the killer crossover, he doesn't have a viable mix-up out of it, which makes it, if you're doing the killer crossover, or that's it. So let's look at the rest of OG's animations. I do want to compare him to these cards. I don't want to just look at the card in isolation, because Jimmy's pretty cheap now, and Rudy Gay is reasonably affordable. OG right now is going for about 14K. The snipes are popping up for 13. I saw one snipe for 9. But honestly, I think you would probably be better just grabbing Jimmy. So he has a bad between the legs when going full court. Let's see his crossover. Very slow crossover. Very terrible hesitation behind the back. Yeah, guys, I definitely, I'm a little disappointed by this card. He does have, no, he doesn't have the teleport behind the back. For those of you who might be new to this channel, there's a crossover animation where if you do the crossover behind the back, some cards, the ball will literally teleport in their hands and move them to the side and make it much more difficult to guard. Let me pop into the chat, see what you guys are talking about. He doesn't have that either. So yeah, he is definitely more in line with the Derrick Jones Jr. type stuff. So let me say, even though this card is 100% not for me, it doesn't mean that I think that this card is totally terrible. You shouldn't get it no matter what. If you pull this card, if you're running a budget lineup, and if you don't ever do dribble moves at all, if that's just not your game, if you just like run up and down court and hit open threes and you run plays and stuff, then OG is going to be fine because he can shoot. I mean, his shot's a little slow. It's funny, shooting Jimmy and Rudy Gay and then coming back to his shot, it does feel a little slow. He can shoot. His shot's a little on the slow side, but he's got range. He's got a nice three-point rating. Let me see. Check his hop dunk situation. Oh my god. Yo, I'm going to go ahead and say this card is not the truth, man. The only thing I like about this card is he has a good momentum and a good behind the back. We'll take a quick look at that. This is behind the back. You see he moves like a nice direction. You know, so he can really boogie behind the screen if he needs to, but his shot is slow. So I feel like this card just doesn't specialize in anything. He's okay. His stats make him look like he's amazing, but he's essentially a role player card. Whereas with Jimmy and Rudy Gay and Paul George, you can run your offense through those cards quite successfully. And I've done so. Both in triple threat and 5v5. You can really cook with those cards. This card is a role-playing card that is going to just run the floor with you, hit open threes, and, you know, take wide open drives to the lane and dunk. Let's look at his dunk packages. He's not going to get contact dunks because he only has an 80. So that's his weak hand ball hand dunk. We're going to go ball hand dominant hand dunk. Nice speed boost on that. He doesn't get particularly high. That should be pretty good in game. Check out the chat again. And we can have a little conversation about this card if you guys want to talk about it. But yeah, having a brutal step back and a brutal hesitation amongst everything else, I just don't think gets the job done. He has a killer crossover, but he's not extraordinarily fast out of it. So, yeah. Does he have the behind the back teleport? I don't think he does. I don't know what he just tried to do. No. Oh, because he has the bad hesitation. So, alright, so that's a little information. I think the behind-the-back teleport is based on your hezi, and he does not have a good hezi, so that's what he does instead of the behind-the-back teleport. He just kind of has a stroke. So, yep. I normally don't like to judge cards, and it's funny because I say that before I judge a card, which is happening more and more. I think if this card fits you, if you like this card, if this card fits your style, he shoots well, he's athletic enough, he defends very well. Right, so those are all positives for the card. But if you like cards that can make plays for you and run offense, I think this guy is definitely much more of a support card than a primary card. As a support card, he's decent. As a primary card, I would go as far as to say he's horrible. I don't think... honestly, I think this card is worse than Jeff Green in terms of being a primary card. No, you didn't miss a Shake Milton review. I haven't done Shake Milton yet. To be quite honest with you, in this whole pack, I'm really curious about Kristaps, and I was curious about Anonuby, because Kristaps could affect the meta, and Anonuby could have been a budget version of, you know, he could have been the Lance Stevenson at the small forward position. The way Lance is to your Brandon Roys and your Vince Carters, he could have been that way to Rudy Gay and Paul George and Jimmy Butler. But I don't think he is. And I'll throw Kawhi Leonard. I'm not mentioning Kawhi Leonard for no real reason. Kawhi Leonard's in that group, obviously. He's an extraordinarily good card. I love Kawhi card. But no, I think if you have MT and you're going to spend it, I don't think this is a card that you want to spend it on for my money. Just get the inexpensive... of the most inexpensive of those four cards, which is probably Jimmy. And I think Jimmy is a lot closer to the rest of that group than people are thinking about him as. And so is the old Kawhi, for that matter, the shooting guard Kawhi. I think that's where you want to go if you're going for more of a budget card. I just think this card's animations are too inferior to really put him in that conversation. He's a much lesser version of those cards. In fact, I would even say he's a lesser version of Richard Jefferson is a better card than this too. RJ is definitely a better card than this, and RJ is roughly free. So I'll answer some questions here. You said fully evolved Shumpert is way better. You know what? We will be getting a fully evolved Shumpert on this channel eventually. So Sergey, and we will be having that. I want to shout out the chat real quick. M71408, what's up? Matt Skizzy, what's going on? Asking for gameplay. Skizzy, I am on a deadline with my main job right now. I draw comic books for a living, and I do not have time to play this game and draw comics at the same time when I'm on a deadline like this. So as my deadlines lean out a little bit, I will have more time to record, play and record gameplay vids. But as it is, all I have time for is card reviews for right now. So let's see. So I should check out the Shake Milton. All right, I'll check out the Shake Milton. Yeah, Rudy Gate super long. Carson Cruz in the chat. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I see you got to that Gerald Wallace video. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Spac, shouting out as always. You said go to the instant replay and you can really see the difference. Yeah. Lance's gold range extender. Cool. The Bulls are only trash because the coach. Nah, the Bulls are trash because they trash. Because they're the Bulls. Alright, and that pretty much takes care of it for the chat. So that's it, guys. Hopefully I saved y'all some MT. Obviously, he can do all of the standard stuff. I'm not trying to say he's a horrible card, but I do think he is, I would say, a D tier card in the small forward meta. Right? Like if I go to my collection, I'm gonna put this fool on auction real quick. So before he comes down to 3,000 MT or whatever he's gonna be. I might put him up for 12 just to be safe, because I definitely want to get him out of my collection ASAP. So we're going to do that. So if you're just coming in here, the bottom line, he has, OG Anonuby has horrible animations. Like really, really, like key animations that are horrible. He has a few okay ones, but his full court animations are bad. His shot's kind of slow. He doesn't even have a hesitation dribble, as far as I'm concerned. He has a completely broken hezi. And his step back is also broken. If you can figure out a way to play with that card, by all means, feel free to comment in the comment section. Let me know what you're doing, and I will do a revised review based on what you find. But off of my findings, he is way back in the meta as far as small forwards go, despite the fact that his stats look really good on paper. I just can't do it. So let's see. Go to the Raptors. First, we're going to get rid of him. Then we're going to look at our small forwards and power forwards, and I'm going to look at how many cards, even that I just own, that are better than this card. And I do think he's worse than Terrence Davis. So send to my auction. Get this guy up out of here before I lose too much MT. Matt Skizzy asked, how do I get so much MT? So what I do is, Evo cards is one of my main sources for MT. That's like the #1 source. I'm going to put him up for 13. Nah, I'll put him up for 12.9. Hopefully we get rid of him real quick. So I Evo cards, and there's certain cards that... So here's just a tip, and I'm no big auction house guru. As you guys know, I do not have time to be in an auction house pressing refresh all day. I have time to get these cards, review the cards, and keep it moving. Honestly, it's worth... It's a better time to money cost for me to just buy packs and then work than to sit in the snipe filter picking up a card. I lose money if I do that, you know what I'm saying? And I don't get my work done, so I got to get my work done. But so yeah, so here's a snipe tip though, even though I'm not like Captain Snipe. I shouldn't even say snipe. Auction house tip: the cards that are no value but are good, like Lance Stevenson and Jeff Green, those cards go up at least 2,000 MT or more when they're out of packs. So don't sell those cards. And like even like a Nate Robinson, a pink diamond Nate Robinson, like he's probably going to come down from what he is right now because not that many people have him. But when he goes down, he's going to go back up when he's out of packs because that's one of the most fun cards in the game. He's a novelty and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the main ways. I do sell my silver cards for a profit like every time. And yeah, I Evo cards. That's the other thing is I just Evo cards passively. I throw them on my team while I'm Evoing one card. I'm Evoing a completely different card. And then I just sell those. And that keeps my MT up. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to my collection and I'm just going to look at the small forwards. And I'm going to compare OG to a bunch of these cards. So he's better than Rick Barry. He's not as good as Richard Jefferson. He's not as good as Jimmy Butler. Obviously, he's better than Diamond Kevin Durant. And everybody else is considered a power forward. All right, so let's go to power forwards. Obviously, he's way worse than Rudy Gay. I have him as worse than Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's still kind of a monster, even though he doesn't have clamps. In terms of as an offensive card, right? Like, he's going to play much better defense than Blake Griffin on the perimeter. Blake, because of his strength, is probably a better interior defender. I think you'd have to play the card to find that out. So we'll see about that. Obviously, he's not even in the same conversation as Giannis. He's way worse than Gerald Wallace as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't play him over LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge's shot is absolutely incredible. Pink Diamond, I mean, he's not as good as this Antoine Walker. This Antoine Walker, even without an 86 ball control, is better than that card. Once Antoine Walker gets range extender and the ball handles, he's way better than that card. Even though Ben Simmons can't shoot, again, Ben Simmons is just as good of a defensive card, faster, and he has incredible animations. It's awesome going to the basket. He can shoot all right out of the corner. It's not great, but you can make shots out of the corner. Because the Anonuby card's shot is so slow, I just think against a good player, there's going to be shots that, like, he's not as good of a shooter as he looks like on paper because his shot is super slow. So I would actually rather play this Ben Simmons card and not have the shooting and have everything else than play the Anonuby, but I think that's a personal call right there. I do think he's worse than Jeff Green. This Jeff Green card is an absolute monster. Bam Adebayo also plays this position if he wants to. Bam is a much better card than that card. And this Kenyon Martin card, it's tough. I really like this Kenyon Martin card. Kenyon plays a lot bigger. He defends on the inside very, very well. But until I get this card to Pink Diamond, I won't be able to compare those two cards. But you see here just automatically, like, so many of these cards, even a Ruby, is better than that Anonuby card. So for that reason, I absolutely 100% cannot recommend it. I do think the Zion Williamson card is better than that, probably from Diamond on up. And I don't even have Paul George in here, who's also better. Obviously, I don't have Durant, who's way better. Pink Diamond, Galaxy Opal Durant. And also, if you go to shooting guards that can play small forward, obviously LeBron James, he's another one. He wasn't listed here because he's a point guard first, but LeBron James is also better than that card. So there's just so many good cards that you can have that play that position way better. So again, I think Terrence Davis is better, Lance Stevenson's better, obviously Brandon Roy's better. Dwayne Wade can't play the can't play the 3. I'm sorry. Terrence Davis can't play the 3 either, so I wouldn't count Terrence Davis against him. But yeah, so even in my collection, I obviously don't even have every card. There's like 11 cards that are better than that card. I just don't think it's worth spending your MT on a card that doesn't bring value to that extent. That's why the Amethyst Shaq brings so much value, because, there we go. My man, woof, got rid of him. Woof. Whew, thought I would have took a bath on that card. Wasn't too bad. I only lost a couple thousand MT. I think his value is going to come down. Maybe it won't, but I got burned on, I think it was CJ McCollum. His value shot down so fast that I literally put him up for like 500 MT more than I should have, and by that night, it cost me 20,000 MT, so I'm not risking that with Anonuby. He had to get up on out of here. All right, this was kind of a long video. I wanted to hang with you guys and talk a little bit, since that card sucks. In fact, let's go ahead and convert this into an overview. Look, if people, this isn't going to be a 10-minute video for the Anonuby card. I'm not looking to gain a whole bunch of clicks off that card. I haven't even monetized the channel because I like the fact that for now, no commercials are playing, and that makes it an easier viewing experience. Eventually, I will have to monetize the channel because it does take up my time. But I know there are some channels out there that I would like to watch, but they have 400 commercials during the channel. I'm just like, I'm not putting on an ad block just for you, just because you put 500 yellow dots on your timeline. I'm just not going to watch the video, and I don't want to give people that experience. So for now, I'm leaving the I'm not like seeking the monetization, trying to activate it like right away or anything. But we are monetized, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. And while we're here, let's go ahead and look at everybody who's out. So everybody wants me to look at the Shake Milton card. So the thing about Shake Milton, he looks like a good card, right? Oh my god. All right, well, there we go. I saw one. Let's see what his price is looking like. 100,000. All right, let's see here. First, let's see what he's looking like on the market so we can determine if he's even, in the realm of somebody you should pick up. Okay, so he's not an expensive card. I could actually pick up a Shake Milton. His value is going to go down, so we will most likely have a Shake Milton review in the near future. I just need to see what his value stabilizes at because he's down to 40K, and that usually means the card's going to be 20K. So as you can see here, from a point guard standpoint, I'm pretty straight. And this doesn't even have LeBron James. Oh, there he goes. So that's my point guard rotation. Is I got Westbrook, I got Marbury, I got LeBron. This Jeremy Lin is almost pink diamond. He's a very good card still. He's still a really good card. And so actually, this is it. So with the Shake Milton card, the question you're asking for all of these diamond and amethyst, well, any card you're going to spend more than 10K on, is are they better than Jeremy Lin? That's the question for me. So that's what we're going to find out right now, at least from a stat standpoint. Now, Jeremy Lin's not fully evolved, but we know his three-pointer, his dunks, all of that's out of control. He basically has everything. His only flaw is that he's 6'3", and there's a few animations that he could be doing better on, but in general, Jeremy Lin's a really good card. So the driving dunk is a 70. This is the exact dunk rating where it scares me a little bit. Some cards at a 70 dunk rating will dunk very often. Some cards at a 70 driving dunk will stop dunking the very moment their fatigue starts to go down, or something else in the game tells them don't dunk. They'll look for any excuse in the game not to dunk. So I don't know if this card is a dunker until I play this card in like actual gameplay. So like a good version of the reverse is, say, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell doesn't have the best like dunk packages in freestyle, but he dunks all the time in game. So if a card is in that middle area, either with their dunk packages or their dunk rating, you don't know until you play them in game. So let's look at what else he's bringing to the table. He's got an 85 perimeter defense, not the greatest. He's got a 30 interior defense, which is absolutely horrible. So right off the bat, that's scaring me. Even at 6'5", I don't know about that. So the closest comparison I would say at this point is we're looking at him versus, say, Alonzo Ball. And you guys, if you're curious about how I feel about Lonzo, go ahead and look at that video. So let's see. He has no real rebounding. It's not the worst in the world, but it's not great. 92 speed, which is good. Speed with ball and acceleration are both good. The strength is also really bad. Lateral quickness is excellent. So that's great. And let's see what the shooting is looking like. So he had a big shooting performance, so we know the shooting is going to be fairly juicy. He's got floor general on Hall of Fame, which is excellent. That's great. I love that difficult shots on Hall of Fame too. What was his mid-range rating? Let's see, because if he can... Alright, he's got a 92 midi, and with the coach, that's going to almost be a 99. With floor general, it might be a 99. So, okay. So he's got Green Machine, Hall of Fame, quick first step. Yeah, we'll take a look at this card. And so he only has gold range extender. Now he has gold clamps. Does he have Intimidator? Alright, let's look for it. Now we know he's not going to have Intimidator Hall of Fame, but let's take a look real quick. Alright, Lob City, Green Machine, quick first step, downhill, so he goes to a 99 speed. In the full court, handles for days, Needle Threader, which is excellent. Deadeye, which is very, very good on gold. Hot Zone Hunter, excellent. Dimer on gold. Yeah, this guy's probably legit. What's up, Jason Battle? Amuse in the house. This guy's probably fairly legit. He's got Ankle Breaker on gold. Ankle Breaker is a really good badge. I definitely prefer it on Hall of Fame, but you will get results on gold. But Hall of Fame is a bonus, no question. You definitely get much more stun animations on that Hall of Fame Ankle Breaker. But yeah, this card looks good. We'll get to him. He's interesting enough to get to him. And let's take a quick look at Kristaps. So I'm actually just going to pull up Kristaps and look at his diamond card. I want to see the speed on his diamond card. So the real issue with Kristaps is that he's kind of slow, right? He's a good shooter. We're not worried about that. He's not the strongest interior defender. So this card is a 77 speed with a 68 lateral quickness. Okay. So with his pink diamond, Team Mavs, with his pink diamond, the big improvement that you're looking for with this card, because I mean he's a good, Kristaps is always a solid card, but he has weaknesses. What you're really looking for is, does he have better interior defense, and does he have better pick and roll defense? That's the main key, right? So his interior defense is a 94, which is great. Speed is significantly higher at a 79, so that's good. Strength is only a 78, so this card might still get bullied. So I think that's the key with this card, is you have to play with this card to find out if he can hold his own. Because if he still gets bullied, then he's not really better than the other Kristaps cards, because those cards can already do the other Kristaps stuff. You're already going to get a few shot blocks. You're already going to shoot the 3 very well. You're going to be a great pick and pop character. He's got decent speed. So let's see what his badges are looking like. Hall of Fame brick wall, which is always great when you run a pick and roll. Punish those cards like Dwayne Wade that don't have pick dodger. You can get some mileage out of that. All of the shooting badges are super juiced. It's Kristaps, one of the greatest shooting big men already at his age, at that height, over 7 feet. So got the rim protector helping him out, which is great. Hall of Fame intimidator, which could help a lot for that defense. In terms of interior defense. When it comes to... Okay, so here's another little bit of 2K knowledge. He doesn't have clamps. The reason clamps can be so important on a big like this is because clamps increases your lateral quickness. We don't have the exact numbers on this, but if you want to see the results of those tests, go over to NBA Toots, NBA 2K, I think it might be NBA 2K Toots, TUTES, as in tutorials, short for tutorials. If you're not following that channel already, go ahead and follow that channel. I get a lot of great info from that channel. Obviously, we all get info from 2K Lab, from the pros, and a lot of it is from my own testing as well, my own experience playing the game and watching other people play the game. NBA Toots will do a breakdown for you on the fact that clamps does in fact increase your lateral quickness, which is why a card like this, what you're really looking for to upgrade Kristaps is that clamps. Once he has clamps, he won't be as soft in the pick and roll. Because while a 79 speed is very good, in the pick and roll, that lateral quickness is really what you're looking for. And his lateral quickness is not remarkable. So he may, I can't say for sure, but at 75, his lateral quickness might still be fairly weak in the PNR. Whereas if you look at Giannis, obviously, at 92, one of the best defenders in the game. Gerald Wallace is 97. I don't think Bam will be here. And Ben Simmons is 86. That's why I'm telling you, I play this card. He can shut down the pick and roll. Yeah, it's amazing. Kenya Martin, a 79. This is what I'm talking about. This card is actually pretty solid. Antoine Walker's at 81. So you see, he's still, Marcus Morris is a super great Amethyst card. He's got it at 88, and Marcus Morris also has a Hall of Fame range extender. He's not 7'3", so obviously there's advantages to playing Kristaps. A lot of people are going to run Kristaps at the center position. But just to show you, for his position at the power forward, he's a very below average lateral quickness defender, and he doesn't have clamps to help him out. So that is the Kristaps thing. And is that everybody? Oh yeah, there's also Seth Curry. So the bottom line with Seth Curry is he can't dunk. And this is the problem with the power creep in the game. It just makes no sense whatsoever to play a card that can't dunk anymore. He's 6'2" and he can't dunk. I don't care how well he shoots. He's not going to shoot. You can only shoot but so well in this game. Right? So there's so many Dwayne Wade shoots amazing, right? Like Donovan Mitchell shoots well enough. Why would I take a card that can't finish at the basket consistently? Because layups can be really bad in this game. When I can just have the shooting and the dunking, right? So this card we will probably not do a deep dive on, because I would rather do a deep dive on a budget card that can do everything than on an 89 speed point guard that can't dunk with an 88 lateral quickness. This card is going to get eaten alive. I don't care if he has platinum clamps. He's just too small. His arms are too short. Am I saying he's a horrible card? No, but he's a card with a gigantic flaw. He's got gold clamps. That's not going to cut it with his attributes. I do think you can have gold clamps and still be good, but you need other things to help you, like wingspan and player dimension and speed attributes. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff brings it together. So we're not going to do a deep dive into Seth Curry, because I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm going to play the snob card and be like, yo, just play Jeremy Lin, man. Just play Evo Jeremy Lin. He's free. Why would you pay? This card's price is going to come way down. Like, he's not going to be super expensive. He can't be more than because Chauncey was going for. Chauncey's better than this card too. If you're talking about cards that can't finish, Chauncey's a phenomenal defender. So that's the card I would say he's really competing with, is Chauncey Billups, and I would highly recommend Chauncey Billups over this card. His animations don't, even if he had the best animations in the game, if you can't dunk, those animations can only take you but so far. And with Chauncey, his defense is too, this card's way too expensive right now. His defense is too good to compare to Seth Curry. Chauncey's a really, really good defender. Not as good as Clyde, but he's definitely up there. Alright, yeah. So we're not going to look too close at Steph Curry. He can't dunk. Sad days. It is what it is. That wraps up the overview, the Anonuby deep dive. So I will be changing the title of this video and his comparison to the small forward meta right now. I think for your money, if you're looking for a phenomenal budget small forward, Gerald Wallace is the way to go. Alright, and the Kristaps, he looks alright. I don't know if he's a game changer, because I don't know if he's much better at guarding the pick and roll, which really doesn't make him much different than the other two Kristaps that are also out, which, again, they're great shooters, but they have very iffy defense, and they're not particularly great at ball handling, and a lot of people who have those cards do complain about those cards. But people do play those cards to high success, so there are already two other Kristaps cards that are out. I don't think there's a big difference between the new one and the old one by what we're seeing. Maybe if you play it, you'll say, oh no, he just moves much faster, he's way better. And if that's the case, then the Kristaps card is worth an upgrade. But that'll wrap it up for this. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Please like and subscribe if these videos are helping inform you about the game and brightening your day in general. Alright, I will see you all in the next one, and peace.